What is up, guys? Welcome back. So if you want to start out playing Barbarian, if you want to play that super broken Dust Devil build, but you don't have your mythics yet, then this is the build for you. This is the starter Whirlwind Fire build. Now, this build specifically, it cannot walk through the whole game, however, it's the perfect build to hover around Torment 9 or 10. You actually have survivability, you can just chill out, farm up your mythics, and then you can transition into the super OP Dust Devil build. So, let me walk you through how this is actually working. But before that, let me do a quick damage demonstration with everything up. So, if I walk up, you can see it's like doing 11 billion, somewhere around there, 5 to 10 billion. It's nothing crazy, but it's respectable. And this build also have the benefit of actually being tanky. So we actually have 41k life, 41k fortification, and like 37,000 barrier. So as you can clearly see, 1.6 million toughness. So there is a few budget options that we are using. Instead of the Star Sky, instead of the air, instead of the ceiling, we actually have workarounds for the specific problems that those mythic items solve. So first off, let me walk you through all the gear pieces. You need 3 unique items, which is super easy to actually get. So we are using the Ugly Bastard. So this is giving us, while we are using Wrath of Berserk, it's giving us extra damage. We are using a life, maximum resource, and fury generation chest piece with barrier damage reduction. If you are pushing the pit, you can actually change this to the aspect of disobedience and it will make you even tankier. If you are just doing war plans or whatever, then you don't need this. You are very fine with the barrier damage reduction, but that's an option as well. We are using the Gore's Devastating Grips. This is giving our Whirlwind a bunch of damage and it is a really nice quality of life because while we are channeling, we are actually pulling in everything, so everything comes to us. It's really nice. We just need to hold down the Whirlwind button. As for the pens, we are using again a life fury generation pens with additional damage reduction while we are using a two-hander. We are always using a two-hander, so a bunch of damage reduction there. This is really important. On the boot, we want fury generation. We want a bunch of movement speed as much as we can, and we have the imprint while we are above 50 primary resource, which we are constantly hovering around 250. We are always berserking. Now, berserking has a lot of synergies with our kit, and it is basically giving us damage, giving us attack speed, and stuff like that. Really good all around. For our mace, we are just using a bunch of damage effects with life. We have the legendary aspect while we are channeling. We deal a bunch more damage. Really good. We are basically just holding down Whirlwind and going around. As for our axe, we are using the increased damage while we have barrier and a bunch of damage affixes. We are using Ramaladni's Magnum Opus. Now, this is really important. It's giving you a bunch of damage. You preferably want to get one with a higher roll than mine. This is almost bottom of the barrel, so this is a nice damage increase. As for our slashing weapon, again, a bunch of damage. We are using life on hit here. Really important because we want to keep up our barrier, and we are using the aspect where if we are using a bludgeoning weapon, we deal increased damage to vulnerable enemies. While we are channeling, while we are doing our Whirlwind, we are making enemies vulnerable. So this is just a bunch of multi. Make sure that you assign the correct weapon to your Whirlwind, because if it's on auto select, it might not be the case where it's actually taking your bludgeoning weapon. So just manually assign it and you are good. For the legendary amulet, we are actually taking a bunch of multi, again with maximum resources, crit strike chance, really important, resource generation as well, because we want to keep up our fury. As for the legendary aspect, we are taking the increased damage while we have maximum or close to maximum resources. With this setup, you are hovering around full resources all the time, so a really good, a really nice damage boost. As for the 2 rings, same thing apply. We want life, we want general multipliers, attack speed maybe, and resource generation, really important. We take the aspect where we are fortified, we gain increased damage, also really important. And this is the Starless Sky substitute, another ring, really important here, crucial part of our build. So If you are struggling with your Fury keep up, you can take the aspect where you are gaining Fury per second while you are berserking. And if you remember, because of our boots, we are always berserking, so it's a really nice quality of life. As for the Talisman set, we are taking the Fury set. Now, this is basically just giving us a bunch of multipliers, a bunch of life, a bunch of damage, all around, well-rounded set. Now for the 2 set effect, we are gaining Colossal. If we are above 100 Fury, and we are always above 100 Fury, we have decreased attack speed, but we gain character size 20% and 120% multiplier to our damage. For the 3 set effect, we are gaining an additional 30% increased life, and for the 5 piece, we are gaining a further 50% size, and we are getting 600% multiplicative damage increase. Really good. And really important as well, you wanna have temerity in your unique charm. This is allowing you to have barrier. Now, there might be a case where you actually wanna take, there might be a case where you don't have temerity. You can actually then use iron skin as is. So this will give you barrier as well. However, this will have a cooldown, and it's just sad. While we are at it, let me talk about the skill tree real quick. So we are using Whirlwind as we discussed. We are taking the cost damage bonus. So this will make Whirlwind deal more damage, but cost additional Fury. We already negated the Fury cost, so it's just a 40% damage increase. We had the channel damage bonus. So 25% more damage while we are channeling, really good. And we have the bursting. Now this is making our Whirlwind actually deal fire damage and burning damage over time. That's why the name Fire Whirlwind Barbarian. We are taking Rallying Cry, of course. This is giving us a bunch of resource generation. Really important while we are actually playing. We wanna keep the Rallying Cry buff up. So once every few seconds, just press it. It has a 4-second duration. Just press it. It's giving you a bunch of movement speed and a bunch of resource generation. For the Rallying Cry, we are also taking Fortify, so this allows us to have maximum Fortify. We are taking Booming as well, additional resource generation and movement speed. We are taking the Fury Gain to have even more available Fury. Moving on, we are taking Warcry. Now Warcry is giving us a bunch of damage, 28% for 4 seconds. It is actually slowing down enemies. It is giving us berserking. Since we are always berserking, we don't really care about this. However, the 10% increased bonus damage is really nice. And we are taking duration increase. Don't take the vulnerable. We are making everything vulnerable all the time, so the duration increase is just better. And we are taking Breath of the Berserking. This synergizes with our helm really well. So it's giving us berserking, unstoppable, a bunch of damage, a fire aura that deals damage. We are actually taking 100% bonus to our berserking while we press Wrath. We are taking full throttle again, just a bunch more damage and 50% resistance. And then we have the duration bonus. As for the expertise, we are taking the polearm expertise, which is giving us increased damage while we are healthy. Moving on to the paragon board, we are taking exploit, we are taking martial, we are taking might, we are taking wrath, and we are taking territorial. So exploit allows us to actually make enemies vulnerable for free. This is just a nice quality of life. It's giving us extra damage to vulnerable targets, also really good. Martial is giving us extra damage, and if we have an active cooldown, for example for Wrath of Berserk, because of Martial, if I cast my shouts, the cooldown of the Wrath of Berserk will go down, so you can spam more ultimates. Might is giving us extra damage while we are wielding a two-hander. Now we are always wielding a two-hander, and increased damage to healthy and injured enemies. So above 80 and below 35, this is giving us extra damage based on the enemy's health. We are taking Wrath, just a generic bunch of crit damage multiplier, and it's giving us 3 fury whenever we crit, so we tend to crit quite a lot, really good. And we are taking territorial. Now it is giving us increased damage to close enemies, and it is giving us 15% damage reduction against close enemies and a bunch of vulnerable damage. This is allowing us to actually be more tanky. Now as for the legendary nodes, we are taking Carnage. Carnage is giving us 15% attack speed while we are berserking. As we discussed, we are always berserking, and increased fire and physical damage. The second legendary node that we are taking is Blood Rage. Now, whenever we kill an enemy that is affected by a damage overtime, which our Whirlwind is basically damage overtime because it is burning enemies, we have a chance to gain berserking. This is good while you are starting out and you don't have the boots aspect for the perma berserking. It will allow you to be in berserk mode quite often, and it is giving you 60% increased damage while you are berserking. Again, a nice synergy. For the third aspect, we are taking Warbringer. It is basically 45% increased damage while we are fortified, and we are always fortified because whenever we press our rallying cry, it instantly fortifies us for 15% of our life. And lastly, we are taking Weapon Masters. Now, the first part doesn't matter. You deal 75% increased damage to injured and healthy, as we discussed, above 80, below 35%. It is giving us a bunch more damage. For the mercenaries, we are taking Grahir with the extra resistance for even more tankiness, and Atkin for the extra reduced incoming damage. As I said, this build is for the ones that want to actually farm out the mythics for the quite insane barbarian build. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I see you in the next one.